United States is wounded and slowly starving to death, and without the population's direct input through voting, will eventually fail. The economy is in one of the worst recessions it has ever been in, and with no one in sight, there's little hope in America. Without serious intervention by the voters, the politicians of Washington will eventually run our great nation into the ground. Today I'm going to tell you why you need to vote in the upcoming election and change the path that America is on. First thing I want to talk about is jobs in America. The reason the jobs in America are as bad as they are is because of the competition presented overseas. I'm going to use manufacturing as the example. If you compare unionized to non-unionized states in the South, then you can see quickly how expensive it can cost to make things. We're going to make a fender for a car. In a unionized state in the North, it can cost upwards of $27 to make that part. If you go to the South, you can make that exact same part for $13. If you take that same part and take it into Mexico, you can now make that for approximately $2. Now you take that exact same fender that was $2 in Mexico, $13 in the South, and upwards of $27 in the North, and try to produce it in India and China, and you can do it for less than $1. There's no way that the American economy can ever compete with that. Because of that, major manufacturers are taking their business overseas, and they're hiring out to the cheapest bidders. The manufacturing process in China and India has increased dramatically as well, so that their parts are nearly as well made as the American-made parts. Because of this, jobs are going down quickly. One of the major things that caused the current recession we're in is the collapse of the housing market. This was caused a lot by the job situation. When jobs go away, the money quits coming in, people can quit paying their mortgage, and pretty soon the banks start foreclosing. As banks foreclose more and more, the banks start hurting, and pretty soon the entire economy goes into a recession from this. People stop spending their money when banks stop loaning their money. Banks stop loaning their money when people stop spending their money. People stop spending their money when there's no jobs to provide that money. It's a giant circular effect that can never be fixed without some serious help. Politicians in America aren't helping that. One of the major reasons the politicians in America are not helping with that is because it's a bipartisan system. We have Democrats and we have Republicans. On either end there are huge Democrats and there are huge Republicans, and they both hate each other. They have the loudest voices and they scream and yell over anything the other side does. My mother is a perfect example of this. She's a Republican and refuses to do anything that the Democrats want. When I argue with her that she's hurting America by not seceding anything, she just closes down and will not even talk with me about it anymore. The problem is that anything that the Democrats want, the Republicans refuse to help. When you have a country that can't get along, when it's divided as much as it is, then it's eventually going to fall. When nothing can be compromised on, then nothing can be completed. Every other week it seems like in the news there's something about the budget crisis, the fact that the government's going to close down because they couldn't agree on a budget, and the government's going to come to a close. Problems in America are numerous, and they're big circle, but they are not insurmountable. Second main point I want to talk about is the voters in America. I'm going to take it right back to my mother. When I talked to her, I said, "What's wrong with America, Mom?" And she told me. She said, "Democrats are the problem with America." And then she rambled on for the next 20 minutes about how Democrats are running our country into the ground. I said, "Alright, if the Democrats offered to compromise on this issue and gave one little vote to the Republicans on it, would you go with them?" And she said no, she would not. And I said, if it came down to the point of America failing or voting with the Democrats, compromising on even a single minor issue, she said she'd let America fail. The problem is that too many Republicans feel that way, and too many Democrats feel the exact same way about voting with the Republicans. Both of them are willing to kill America and crush it, and at the same time they're saying that they're not going to. They're saying they're working for the better of America, and that the other side's just too stupid to realize it. Everybody's got their own opinions, and not everybody's opinions are always going to agree. But the problem is that everybody is fighting against each other to the point where America is being hurt in the process instead of being helped. When we talk about the numbers of voters, it's extremely low. Last year, less than 50% of America voted. Everybody complains about what's wrong with America, and yet nobody does anything about it. Every 4 years there's a major election, and every 4 years less and less voters actually go to the polls and vote, and still the same number of people complain about the number of voters. If you want to change America, you have to do something about it. You have to go out there and vote for yourself. In a hypothetical situation, everybody goes to the polls and votes. Everybody gets their voice in. Everybody's heard. The majority of American voters are in the middle. The majority of American voters want America to be great again. The problem is that the majority of the Americans don't actually go and vote. If you want to change America, if you want to make it great again, you have to go and let your voice be heard. America is wounded, but not mortally. With significant reform in our government, the policies can be healed. The job market can be fixed and jobs can be brought back to our market. We can convince the manufacturers to bring their companies back to us, create jobs for us instead of sending more overseas more and more. The way the path needs to be changed, though, is by America working together, not fighting each other constantly. Is when a common path can be chosen and stuck together that America is at its greatest. Thank you.